So over the past few weeks and months, I think you might have noticed that this China Evergrande group headlines have been everywhere, and they've been threatening to destroy the global economy. So wait no longer, because today is the day, right? They have basically missed a bond payment, which is not delayable like the others. The others were like they missed the bond payment, but there's a 30-day grace period. So they officially missed a bond payment. So I'm doing this video very early, right after they missed the bond payment, and their stock has just been halted. So that's why there's no news articles out yet. So yeah, there's this Reuters and Bloomberg articles out, but they don't mention the 260 million bond payment. So as you can see, this is China Evergrande Group stock in Hong Kong, 3333. It's 11:30 in the morning, and they're supposed to be trading, but when you refresh, no chart available, no movement, nothing. It's still the same, 2.95. So their stock has been halted. So all this and more today, and I will also talk about all the affected parties and which stocks are going to be affected, right? In my opinion. So without further ado, quick disclaimer before the video starts. None of this is financial advice. This is purely my own opinion. Please do your own research, blah blah blah, before making any financial decisions, or do your own research before making any decisions in general. Think for yourself, right? So China Evergrande defaults on its debts. Are we headed for a repeat of the great financial crisis? This has been the worry in the past few weeks and months. So let's explore this. And we'll come to a conclusion. Let me move to the next slide. So now we're going to compare China Evergrande compared to Lehman Brothers in the 2008 that caused the financial crisis. And for those that don't know about the financial crisis, maybe we're too young or something. It's basically Lehman Brothers, this company, basically crashed the global economy, and about 10 trillion of wealth was wiped out in the US in 2008. So how much assets does Evergrande Group hold? So they hold about 306 billion in assets. And their total equity is 53 billion. Wait, where are the liabilities? Sorry, I must have missed it. Evergrande liabilities. Okay, so their total liabilities is 300 billion, and basically you can see that they have more assets than liabilities, but of course you can see that they have just slightly above more assets than liabilities, and most of the liabilities are actually in real estate. They only have 6 billion extra in assets compared to their liabilities. That's not a lot, especially when you consider most of their assets is in real estate. Oh, actually not most, practically all of their assets is in real estate, and that's an incredibly illiquid market, right? So this 306 billion, I can easily guess that when it comes to fire sale prices, they will be selling at half the price, considering that a lot of the real estate is uncompleted, is halfway done, and is marked on their books. So I can easily see from their assets, they may be only able to get 150 or 100 billion of dollars from this 300 billion dollars in assets, because their assets are illiquid and also no one wants the assets. So if you enjoy my napkin math, horrible as it is, do help me smash up the like button. It will really mean a lot to me and my channel. So where does this leave us? So when compared to Lehman Brothers was actually bigger. So Lehman Brothers had 680 billion in assets, supported by only 22 billion of firm capital. And if we take a look here, so where's the highlighted? Yeah, so basically Lehman Brothers had 85, ignore this, Lehman Brothers had 31x leverage. And basically, if you don't know what 31x leverage means if your assets depreciate by just 3 to 3.5%, your whole company will collapse. Basically, think of you are buying stocks on margin with 31x leverage. Think of it that way. So you get a margin call when the assets moved just 3%. And in their case, they were holding real estate, so they thought it was really safe and it wouldn't move like that. So their 680 billion in assets, after they fire sale, they probably got very little out of it. So they actually had enough assets to cover their liabilities. Look here, 639 billion in assets to cover 619 billion in debt. And in the end, we know what happened. This whole company crashed and it caused the great financial crisis. So yeah, now we can see that actually China Evergrande is smaller. It is smaller than Lehman Brothers. It's about half the size of Lehman Brothers. And to my next point, you will see that China Evergrande is actually not as big as people make it out to be, because people put out the number 300 billion and it is a lot in debt, but compared to Lehman Brothers and the effects, is it very similar? Let's take a look, right? So 2008 money supply versus 2021. So we can see the M3 money supply, and this is basically all the money supply in the United States. It went from 7.5 trillion to now is 20 trillion. So basically what that means, and this is not even 20, it's May 2021. So, excuse me. So it's about 20 trillion. That equates to the money supply expanding about 2.5 times. So let's just do some quick napkin math. So 600 billion at that time times 2.5. So in the same terms today, Lehman Brothers would have to be at a 1.5 trillion market cap. Asset. They would have to have 1.5 trillion in assets to match what they had in 2008. Basically, if you can see that, if you consider the expansion of money supply. So what does this lead me to believe? This leads me to believe that the Evergrande crisis, the fact that all the media outlets are really blowing the story out of proportion, yes, it's going to have huge effects, but not as big as it's going to cause the whole world to collapse as the media makes it out to be. So what is next and who will this affect? So I took the liberty to make basically a China Evergrande collapse spreadsheet. Let's just use the word crash to become more like mainstream media and stoke more fears, right? Oh my god, Evergrande crash spreadsheet. So directly affected. So definitely directly affected. Number one will be Australia. Because Australia actually produces a lot, and I mean about 60% of their economy is ran on raw materials which are exported to developing nations like China, Southeast Asia, and China is actually one of the biggest consumers of all these raw materials from Australia. So number two is anyone that produces raw materials for China. Think cement, iron, copper, all these things that are needed for construction will definitely be hit very hard. Third, this is in no order, by the way. It's just whichever one I could think of, I just put it in first. Stock and bond holders, definitely. I think this stock is going to zero, basically. So all the stockholders will lose all their money. All the bond holders will maybe get 30 cents on the dollar for that is what I have read, that they will probably get 30 cents on the dollar for the bonds, right? That's why the bonds are trading at about 30 cents right now on the dollar. So I'm no expert, right? So if you think that I have said something wrong or whatever it is, so comment below. Make sure to correct me, because I'm fallible, so I can be wrong. So yeah, take what I say with a pinch of salt and continue to do your own research. Don't take my word as gospel. I don't think I'm a all-seeing oracle. So number four is banks that loan Evergrande money. Definitely all the banks, if you just do some quick napkin math again. So basically if they have 300 billion, and my presumption is that, let's say worst case scenario, they can only get 100 billion out of the 300 billion in assets. And the reason is because they mark it as 300 billion in assets, but maybe no one will want to buy it for 300 billion. So they have a negative 200 million basically. Sorry, let me just do it this way. So it's negative 200 billion. And who will take all these losses? The people who will probably take all these losses is number one, the bondholders, and number two, the banks, which is my point currently. So the banks that loan them money, which is a lot of banks that loan them money, yeah, will definitely be affected very, very heavily. Sorry, accidentally clicked that. So suppliers that sold goods and services on credit, basically if you sell anything on credit, be it steel, copper, whatever, you sold it to Evergrande on credit, now they collapse, and basically all your money is stuck there for a long time. You like them might be faced, like Evergrande Group might be faced with a liquidity crisis, and your business might be forced to shut down. Employees, definitely, they employ about they were saying around 200,000 indirectly employed people. So I think definitely is going to have a huge effect on employees. And number 7 is real estate owners, because when Evergrande has this fire sale, basically they will throw the price, and everyone will be buying real estate for maybe 50 cents on the dollar. So the surrounding areas, the people who own the real estate in the surrounding areas will definitely feel their real estate going down in value. So indirectly affected. I should call it indirect effects, but it just gonna keep it at indirectly affected will be Chinese consumers, because again, bringing back to the point of real estate owners, 80% of 80 to 90% of Chinese consumers. I'm not pulling all this statistics out of my butt. You can go Google it. So 80 to 90% of Chinese consumers are also real estate owners, because Asians really love to own homes, right? So basically, if I tell you your home today is worth 2 million, you will have, it's called a wealth effect, and you will have spend more money than if I told you your house is 500,000, because even though it has no material difference, but you feel poorer or you feel richer, and that will affect your spending habits. So luxury goods, the company that comes to mind when I'm talking about luxury goods is definitely Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, LVMH, because they sell a lot of LV to China. You can always see Chinese people holding their LV bags and holding their Gucci bags and all that. So definitely luxury goods will be affected very hard, right? So global consumption, okay, this is more of change in sentiment because of, let's say, China will feel it first, but everyone on the planet will feel it afterwards, because the Chinese consumer will consume less. Let's say, I read an article the other day that Alibaba actually imports cherries from the USA, right? So just think that, if people no longer import as many cherries from the USA, and then the person that sells the cherries have less money to spend, in that case they will spend less, and it goes on and on, right? Because there's a multiplier effect when it comes to the spending of people, because basically if I spend $1, somebody will earn $1. So importation of goods, definitely the Chinese consumers will import less, and again that also goes down to global consumption, because if you import less, the wealth effect again, right? So the fifth point is the renminbi. So RMB means Chinese renminbi, and basically the renminbi weakening. Sorry, let me just type it out. Weakening. So the renminbi will weaken. That will lead more people to import goods from China. So this is a global macroeconomics kind of thing, right? So yeah, more people will import from China and less people will import when let me say that again. More countries that are outside China will import from China, and people who are in China will import less from outside. So their balance of trade will strengthen. So other real estate developers, okay, basically why it will affect them is because after this China Evergrande collapses, definitely there will be a lot of repercussion, a lot of new laws that the CCP will impose, because they don't want this to happen again to other real estate developers. And also, I should also put them indirectly affected, because those real estate assets that they are holding will also decrease in price and value. And last, number 7, I think this is the one most people are interested in, is Chinese tech companies. Say your Alibaba, your Tencent, your JD.com, all these companies, Baidu, Pinduoduo, definitely they will be affected very heavily because of Chinese consumers. And these two are interlinked. So Chinese consumers spend less on these platforms. So these stocks will definitely be hit very hard. So I wouldn't be in a rush to buy Chinese stocks right now, even though I feel like their valuations are very, very compelling at the moment. There are so many headwinds that will probably keep the stock price at this low level. So in future, maybe you have to buy it a bit higher, but when the risks are not so vast, right? So maybe in future, when the risks are not so much, or is at a level that I am comfortable with, or it's just that I have more time to accumulate. So these are the 3 things that are possible. So yeah, this video was a bit messy. I apologize for that. But my conclusion is that China Evergrande finally defaults on its debts. I think we have seen this coming for a long time. However, compared to Lehman Brothers, their debts are fairly small. I don't mean in the absolute sense. I mean when you compare it to Lehman Brothers, it's still a very big debt, right? 300 billion. However, I personally do not believe we are heading to another GFC scenario. GFC meaning Great Financial Crisis, means the whole world is melting down, and basically everyone is saying that it's the end of the world, right? However, the headwinds keep coming. As the headwinds keep coming, it seems we are inching towards up the probability of a recession, because you can see that currently the Chinese tech crackdown, the US growth is weakening, China now, this Evergrande thing, and a whole host of other things. Even though we have record low interest rates, our growth and all is slowing down. So with that being said, that's about all I wanted to share today. Thank you very much for watching till the very end of the video. If you did enjoy the video, smash up the thumbs up button, smash the subscribe button, and press on the bell notification and press all. And do leave me a constructive comment, right? Any constructive criticism or any positive feedback will be much appreciated. And with that being said, thank you very much again for watching till the very end of the video. Have a fantastic day ahead, and peace out.